All right, so welcome to CareSmartz360 On Air, a home care podcast. I'm Dennis Gill, Senior Sales Consultant at CareSmartz360. Today, we are speaking with a true growth architect, Michael Ford, Chief Development Officer at Angels in Your Home. Michael leads the charge in scaling home care, assisted living services, bringing mergers and acquisitions into harmony with organic growth. We'll dive into how agencies can expand smartly, innovate fearlessly, and build the future of care. Let's get started. Welcome to the podcast, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Michael, without wasting any time, let's jump on to straight away our first question. So, Michael, what are the top three red flags to look for before acquiring a home care agency, according to you?
So really, there's not a top three. You really have to align everything with what your agency's strategic plan is. What
Mhm,
is your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year growth plan? What are you looking to accomplish
mhm,
when looking to acquire agencies? Are you looking to acquire census? Are you looking to acquire talent from that
mhm.
agency? Are you looking for synergies that may help not only your agency, but the agency you're acquiring operate more efficiently? So there's multiple things you're looking for and not
Okay.
necessarily red flags. There are
Mhm,
things that will stop a deal from going through, such as you get through due diligence and you find compliance issues that happen to hit with the state Department of Health that
mhm.
are just too deep for you to be able in your current role to fix. However, I've also run into that where that's a good time to go in and fix it and take and acquire an agency. So every deal, a red flag is deal specific. What might be a red flag on deal one may
Yeah.
not be a red flag on deal six.
Okay. Got it. Got your point. So there are no specific red flags we can mention on that thing.
For us, no, I look at it deal by deal, to be honest with you. You know, mostly compliance, nursing issues. A big thing I like to see is, hey, how are they operating? What does their P&L look like? Okay. Where can I go in there and look and go, okay, we have an office administrator that can cover this office. Great. Okay, which one's the better office administrator to use for that? What are some of the give backs that you can look at when looking at a P&L from a synergy standpoint? And another thing is like, how is it being operated? Is it a well-run operation, or do you have to go in and completely change how it's operated?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, depends upon deal to deal then. And how should a smaller independent agency balance M&A with organic growth?
It comes back to your strategic thought process. For us, the way we're looking at it is so Angels in Your Home, this is the first time that us as a company got into it. I've been doing mergers and acquisitions for the past 5 years, came over to Angels in Your Home in May of this past year,
Okay.
and it's very strategic on what we're looking for. We have a thesis that we've created, and we've created a 5 year strategic plan that we want to meet growth goals. The size of the agencies we buy today may not be the size of the agencies we buy tomorrow. It's very specific on how we designed our plan. We sat down, we had multiple meetings. Our CEO, our owner, and our chief nursing officer slash chief operating officer got in a room together, hashed out our ideas, and we all agreed upon what that strategic plan should be over the next 5 years.
Okay.
What size agencies we should be going for? Where are the target areas we want to go? What states do we want to go look at?
Okay.
So from a smaller agency that's never gotten into it, finding someone like me that can come in and create that plan,
Mm-hmm.
put that plan together, and be on the same page as everyone on the senior management team
Mm-hmm.
that meets that growth. Hey, because when you acquire, you may acquire 5 clients, you may acquire 1,000 clients. You still got to
Okay.
grow whatever size that agency is. So there also has to be a business development plan on the back end of that mergers and acquisitions because most acquisitions, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years to get your purchase price back when
Okay.
looking at an acquisition. So
Got
you
it.
have to build in how are you going to organically grow it and put targets on that agency to stay on track.
Okay. And to continue with this, and what makes an agency an attractive acquisition target right now? Mostly you have answered that. Anything else you want to add on that?
For me, it's state by state. Where do you want to go? What are their what are their payer sources? Are you looking for Medicaid? Are you looking for private pay? Are you
Mhm.
looking for an agency that's working with the new guide program that's out there where home care companies can get respite services and get Medicare dollars in reimbursement through the
Got it.
guide program?
Okay.
Do they have a partnership maybe with like the Alzheimer's Association or ALS or Beat Parkinson's? Um, what are their niches that you don't do that you can bring to your new company? For example, like, are they really good at private pay?
Mhm.
Well, maybe we're really good at Medicaid, but we don't know how to do private pay. We can learn from this agency and then bring it over to our market. Do they have one of those partnerships we just talked about that we can learn from and then bring it over to the markets we are already in? And
Right.
looking for things like that. Like, are they a veterans only company? Because the VA is a great source to provide excellent service for those that have allowed us in the United States of America to live the way we live with the
Mhm.
freedoms that we have. So, can we go service the veterans? What is that niche that each agency has, and seeing where that fits in with what your agency looks to do?
Got it. Got it. Got it.
And for us, we want to become payer diverse.
Mhm.
Um, with how government's going right now, it's hard to say what is our Medicaid reimbursement dollars going to be in 1, 3, 5 years. What is Medicare going to look like in 1, 3, 5 years? So payer diversity
Mhm.
is a huge thing that we are looking for as a company.
Okay, diversity is the main thing. And which technology or service model is giving agencies the biggest competitive edge post-deal?
Repeat that question really quickly. I'm trying to fit there. I got to think about how to answer that one.
Which technology or service model, anything out of those, is giving agencies the biggest competitive edge post-deal? Once deal is done, after that, what do you think is the biggest advantage, competitive advantage?
So obviously EMRs are great. If there's EMR like synergies, you're using the same EMRs. That's easy. You're not having to do an EMR transition post acquisition. So
Hmm.
that's a good competitive advantage for you to have when doing it because then you're not training those employees you keep
Hmm.
onto a new EMR. From a service model perspective, for us, it's what are you doing organically growth? Where can we step in and help you? Are you struggling with recruitment? Great. Let's us step in and help you with recruiting more caregivers. That's something that is always huge. We know it's a national caregiver shortage
Hmm.
going on right now, and caregivers are the lifeblood of home care
Yes,
in our
yes,
industry. If you don't have caregivers, you can't have clients.
definitely.
So, how are you working to get those caregivers and then incentivize those caregivers to do well? Like, do you have like a back end AI such as Caribou or something along those lines where caregivers, if they're doing EVV compliance, they're providing proper care, they're earning rewards? Or do you have that internal system at your agency to do that? Where
Hmm.
you're providing a reward such as, hey, you do this, we're going to get you a $50 gift card for wherever you would like to go for doing that extra service, going above and beyond
Right.
and then how do you get those caregivers? Because let's be honest, caregivers know caregivers to bring their friends over to be caregivers at your place.
Definitely. Yeah. A little push does help that.
Mhm.
And what are the most common mistakes agencies make during integration, and how can they avoid
Jumping in and making changes way too soon.
them? Jumping in. Yeah.
You think you know what you know during due diligence,
Uh,
and then you get in and like we're gonna make that change immediately, and it's ooh, maybe that was a bad mistake. You
mhm,
know, it's going in there and really taking that first 30, 60 days when you're truthfully operating the business
mhm.
and learning how that business truthfully operates. You can know what you know during due diligence, but
Yeah.
something always comes up during integration that is different than you thought you were going to see during due diligence. And it's
Got it.
how are you agile enough to learn from it
Mhm.
and make the right decision? Because your way as the acquirer isn't always the best way. You can always learn from the agencies that you acquire, you
Mm.
know, and change different ways of doing things.
And you do both skilled, non-skilled, Medicare, Medicaid, all kind of.
So we currently only do non-skilled home care. In the past, I've done both
Okay.
non-skilled and skilled. So I do have experience in that. Recently, I've kind of changed my thesis, my personal thesis on, I always believe that owning a home care and a home health made sense, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually owning all three, home care, home health, hospice. The more I'm looking at it, I think it's really what is your focus? For us being home care, I would lean towards getting into hospice before I would lean towards getting into home health first. So, like, if
Got
I
it.
had to rank it for us as a company of what's the next post-acute service we would expand into, I would look
Mm-hmm.
at hospice before I would look at home health, strictly because those two entities refer to each other more
Mm-hmm.
than home health does.
Okay.
You know? Because you're really doing more. Hospice agencies need home care companies to provide personal care services at times. And there's more clients on home care that need hospice services than home health. What I'm learning. So from a referral source standpoint, and you want to pass business back and forth between the agencies and the entities that you own,
Mm-hmm.
hospice and home health seem to really be the right spot to go. However, I am also a believer in having all three.
All three. Got it. Got it. And finally, the last thing that our listeners want to know, how do you see the home care market evolving in next 3 to 5 years? And how should agencies position themselves on that too?
So it's really a 50-50 proposition the way I'm looking at this. A
Okay.
lot's going to come down to what happens revolving around government funding
Mm-hmm.
coming up in the next 3 to 5 years. What
Mm-hmm.
does the current administration decide to do in revolving around Medicaid and Medicare? So I think it's going to be a cautious acquisition environment.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think you're going to see a lot of smaller agencies looking to consolidate and partner and become a larger entity. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really where you're going to see your smaller agencies that are looking to become a mid or a large size go after the smaller mom and pop agencies, family owned, or somebody that was a caregiver decided to open a home care company, got it to the clientele that they can get it to, and they're stretched thin at that point. That's the max they can take it to. But
Mm-hmm.
yet they've done it well. They've done it really, really well, but they need somebody to come in and help them take it to the next level. Those are for us at Angels in Your Home. Those are a great target because you're doing something well, but
Mm-hmm.
operationally you're stretched thin. You don't
Okay.
want to expand anymore, but you know there's growth potential in the markets that you're there. That's where somebody like Angels can come in, keep that staff on board, learn
Uh-huh.
from that staff, and then help them grow it in that area.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the smaller agency you see, they would be moving into the mid-size or the larger
Correct.
agencies. Got it.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Right. So thank you for your inputs today, Mike. And it was great talking to you. And obviously, our listeners must have had some great benefits out of this. And we'll be in touch with you. Our marketing team will be in touch with you. And thank you for your time today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully this helped those that are listening.
Surely. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.